What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the Real Junkies. I am your host, Farhan, here again with my man Vito. And I know we've been away, but Netflix movies are dropping. You know what I'm saying? I see you, Red Fire. I see what you was doing there.
Was that I was making up my own song for real. I didn't
Oh,
know
I
that was
thought we wasn't on the same page then.
no.
Clearly, there's been a hiatus, y'all. We gonna tighten up. I promise. I promise we're gonna tighten up. But Netflix movies have been dropping since we've been away. And one of them decided, let's just take two people that go well together on screen and just throw a Netflix movie together and see what happens. And that is The Rip with, I would say, one of the most iconic duos you could put on screen together in Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. There's certain Hollywood duos that are like, those people are
Matt
forever
Damon.
Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
There's certain Hollywood duos that are like synonymous with each other. And I feel like Matt and Ben is for sure in that category. And I remember when I first heard about this, I was a little intrigued just off the strength that it was a Netflix movie. And we've seen Netflix start to have a lot of larger stars in their films. You got things like The Irishman, The Gray Man, which had Chris Evans.
I forgot about that.
You know what I'm saying?
That was good.
Yes, and Ryan Gosling. So like we've seen Netflix put together some all-star cast. I remember a period of time where Netflix movies were like, oh shit, it's a Netflix movie. Like that was like bougie straight to DVD. You know what I'm saying? I feel like there was an era where Netflix movies was like the bougie version of straight to DVD. And now we're in an era where like Netflix movies are actually a little legit now. I've had to change my mindset about them. And this one has helped with that. I gotta say, first of all, the cast is stacked.
Stacked.
Like very stacked.
Like if I came in here and I want to shit on this movie, the one thing you can say about this cast is it's that. Like it got people I might not even remember their name, but I see them in other things, and they're in here for a hot second. You know, it's a lot of that. You know, but like you said, the three biggest obviously Matt, Ben, and then Stephen Wynn or Ewan. I don't know how to say his name.
Stephen Yeun, Tiana Taylor, who was we got to put some respect. She's a Golden Globes winner now. We got to put some respect.
Yeah, but she's still like, she's still up and coming, like for real in our actor bag. But then I forgot fucking Kyle Chandler
as well. So this cast had some, you know, some solid hitters, some solid hitters. Obviously, you got the two heavy hitters, and then you got some solid role players. You got some solid role players in this one, and they all brought their A game. For one thing about this movie that I was a little worried about going in is it's very easy to get cliche, which this movie does do at certain points. Yeah. I'm not saying that this movie doesn't have this problem, but it's very easy to get real cliche when you're dealing with a cop thriller or a cop drama, especially one about the police being corrupt, because we've seen that story so many times at this point. I really liked the way this film managed to take that concept, something that we've seen on screen, and not just create a little bit of a different spin to it, but do it in a way that keeps you engaged and on your toes the entire time, and kind of ratchets up the tension like as each scene goes on and as you get more pieces of what's going on. So just for context, so that you all have an idea of the story we're working with here. Essentially, this film follows a group of Miami police officers. The film starts in slight spoilers, but this is literally the first scene of the movie, so not. You know really what?
Spoilers. I'm fine with a spoiler simply because it's a new movie, but it's on Netflix.
Yeah, but that's also the reason why I'd be like iffy with spoilers, because it's on Netflix. It ain't like there's like a theatrical window. Like this shit gonna sit on there for a minute, and people gonna see it at different points in time. You know what I'm saying? It ain't like people just go to the theater and just notch this and mad. I'm just saying.
Sit your ass down on your couch. Go watch this fucking movie.
I'm with you, but I'm just saying. But it follows a group of Miami police officers. It starts with their captain getting murdered. And that's kind of what kicks off the events of this movie, is the police captain gets murdered. The people who did it have not been brought to justice yet. And internal affairs and the feds are all over this department, specifically this task force called TNT. And
you remember where we first seen TNT at?
Where we first saw them at? Where did we first see them at?
Bad Boys.
We did see TNT and Bad Boys.
That was their name. I was waiting on one of them motherfuckers to show up.
They wasn't bad. I don't know how I missed that.
Tactical narcotics team.
Tactical narcotics team.
We gonna get into their name, because I have that was one of my gripes about the movie, was what they're doing and what their team name is.
Yeah, there was no narcotics searching at all in this movie from start
And
to
they make
finish.
it clear that they don't fuck with drugs like that. So
Yeah, like
it's kind of
literally
really weird.
there were a few, and we'll get to those but there were a few like holes in like the logic in this movie
Yeah.
at certain points that kind of took me out of it. But basically after the murder of this police captain, and I can't remember how much time had passed, but enough
I don't
time
think
had
they
passed.
stay.
It was enough time had passed to where like the fact that we don't even have a suspect is a problem. Like
Yeah.
we need to be narrowing down who committed this crime, and instead like the cops are getting frustrated because y'all are in here interrogating us, and we believe as at this point in the movie that this is done by somebody outside of the department. So now one of the officers, really kind of the lieutenant actually, gets a tip about a house somewhere that has a large amount of cash stashed. And
Money
for
sign,
additional
money sign, money sign.
hey, but big money signs, big money signs, boy. And for context, a big reason why internal affairs and the feds were on this task force ass so much after the murder of their police captain is because they were suspecting that there was a lot of corrupt activity going on, specifically with officers stealing money from crime scenes. That is the specific thing that they were looking at more than anything else.
And their reason is there was another special team. They
Mhm.
got broken up. Motherfuckers went
Yes.
to jail. Motherfuckers got
Mhm.
fired.
Yep.
They got just left. Like they were 100% dirty. I mean, there was some clean ones in there, or that we know of, but most of them motherfuckers was dirty. Got sent away.
Mhm.
So this is supposed to be like I guess it was like an offshoot of it. They don't really explain what the Vicat had with it, but like
Yeah.
that other task force was after like murderers. But
Mhm.
also when they're in a world where drugs and money is having to plan the same thing. If it's a gang war, or motherfucker got a lot of money get killed, then obviously they're gonna come across some money somewhere.
Mhm.
And niggas was stealing money essentially.
Yeah, that was like the main reason why this task force was under the microscope as much as it was. So now, boom, fast forward to the lieutenant gets a tip about this large, about a large amount of cash sitting in this house somewhere. So boom, he rallies the team. They go investigate. Turns out, because the tip he got, I think it said, I can't remember the amount
They
it
just said
said.
money
It
signs.
just said money signs, right? Didn't even
Yeah,
say an amount. They get there. Turns out the money signs should have been a lot more money signs because it ended up being $20 million.
20
So
million.
now, boom, that's as much as the plot as I'll say, because that's really what kicks off the rest of this movie and the events that you see take place after that. And it's a lot of figuring out who you can trust, the cops amongst them, not just in terms of the audience, but the police amongst themselves figuring out who they can and can't trust. And then also just figuring out like the interpersonal relationships between each officer and
Between
kind of
everybody.
seeing them deteriorate in certain aspects, especially between Ben Affleck and Matt Damon's characters. I thought their scenes together were some of the best and most powerful scenes the movie had to offer, just as far as like interpersonal relationships. But once that 20 million gets discovered, this movie is kind of on and popping from there, from a drama standpoint, from a tension standpoint. And it kind of sits in that pocket in the first two acts until the third act when it
It
starts
sits
to,
in that motherfucker. It
yeah,
sits in that
it sits in
motherfucker.
that pocket. And that to me is when this movie's at its strongest.
Yeah.
It tries to become an action movie in the third act, which it wasn't terrible, but I think that's the weaker part of what they
It
were
was
attempting to
not
do.
like I said, that was one of the before we got on, I said, this movie kinda left me wanting a little bit more. And
Hmm.
that's what kinda left me wanting a little bit more, because that even the action sequence that happened there was kind of that shit was ass. I'm just
Well,
saying it was
which
ass.
one? Are we talking about the
Imma say both of
initial,
them.
the one where shit first hits the fan? Because that one I
No,
actually
no,
kind
no,
of
no,
fucked
no,
with.
no, no, no. See,
Okay.
I still had that in the second act.
Okay. Okay.
Because I got the third act, which is really the end of the movie where,
I know what
where
scene you're
shit's
talking
going
about. Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
But that last action scene, real action scene, was kinda because the first one you don't see much,
Yeah.
and then the next one is the last one.
Yeah.
And it's happening, but and I get into that once I do, kinda jump into it, but it was kinda all over the place.
I agree.
It was really all over the place, and I
Yes.
was like, "How is so many people able to run off?"
Bro, I really wish we could talk in depth about that last action scene, because there were so many points where I was like, what's happening doesn't make sense right now. Like how these two are fighting in isolated incidents
And nobody
after
else
what
came.
just happened makes no this shit don't make no sense. So I'm with you
I am
where
gonna spoil one part.
okay.
There's a scene where the FBI show up and they catch the group, the heist group,
Mhm,
and they telling them like, "Hey, we got y'all, come out." And a truck tries to back off, and they shoot the front tires with a sniper rifle.
mhm.
Cool, 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 cool. But also, there's a tank there, or it's not a tank, but it's an armored vehicle.
Armored
Motherfuckers, it's
truck,
a
yeah.
tank, and they don't shoot the tires out of this big ass fucking tank that can almost probably run through a barricade that y'all got set up. They think, oh no,
Yeah,
let's
we'll
get
leave
the
that one
Tahoe.
alone.
Like, let's get the Tahoe. Let's shoot
Let's
the
get the
tires out the
Tahoe.
Tahoe. Or they might, I don't know if it's the tire or the engine block. I don't remember. But either way, then they go, okay, let's shoot the windows of this armored vehicle. You know that shit bulletproof, right?
And what's
You're not about to
crazy
just
enough,
punch through that bitch like that.
that's not even the wildest part of that scene, which you just said. That's not even the biggest logic gap in that scene, which is
That was the
crazy.
first one that
That
I
was
know.
the first
That was the
one.
first one. That was
There were
like, okay,
several that
what the
followed
fuck
that.
was that? But like you
The
said, I think honestly, the leading up to all that, the suspense, the dialogue, the conversations that they're having between each other, that's the best part of it.
Yeah.
I could have watched the whole movie with that, and then like them breaking it down and it being like oh, cops just show up and then they arrest niggas. I could have dealt with that.
Mhm.
This, it kind of felt like it's not an action movie, but it wants to be.
Yes,
Let me
there were
put it
points
like
where
that.
it wanted to be, but it's really not that. This movie is at its strongest, like I said, when it sits in that drama tension pocket
A little
and
thriller.
that who can I trust, who's a good cop, who's a bad cop, who's here to do the right thing, who's trying to undermine the group. That to me is when this movie's at its best and strongest. And I do want to say that this movie did a good job. A very unexpectedly good job of keeping me guessing.
I'm not gonna lie. I was the whole time. I'm like, oh yeah, he's dirty. No, no, she's dirty. He's dirty.
Mhm.
Like, I was kind of all over the place, and I
Yeah,
thought I had it.
I
Um,
didn't.
I suspected one person that I was correct about,
Mhm.
but the shit comes out like and I was just suspecting him because I'm like, nah, this can't be going down like that. It can't be
Yeah.
going down like that.
Yeah, facts, facts. No, and there were I think I know which one you're talking about. One of them completely didn't see coming. I'm gonna be
No,
real. Ooh, one out of left field. And the way they set that up was so perfect because this movie does a lot of setting you up to think it's gonna go in one direction
hmm,
and then going in the complete opposite direction, but not doing it in a way where you go, all right, now how did we get here? Like the movie tells you, here's the details that you missed along the way that you probably overlooked that led to this conclusion or this character being revealed to be someone other than you thought they were. And the
yeah,
way they set that up it was so great because the clues were really I don't even want to call this movie a mystery because the clues to the answer were in front of you the entire time. But as an audience member, there's so much getting thrown at you. You don't really know to look for them in that moment because there's a lot of key plot points that are focusing on other characters or other events that are happening. So when these little clues are getting thrown at you as to, all right, this movie's trying to throw you the hints at who the dirty cops are, you're not paying attention to them as much because of just the amount of chaos going on around the room and that's going on in these scenes. I thought the way they set that up was perfect. And like I said, it really kept me guessing the entire time.
yeah.
Like very refreshing as a film fan to think you know what's happening and then to be completely wrong. Because I came into this movie ready to judge it. Like, all right, boom, here we go. 4 scenes in, I already know who the dirty cops are. Come on, let's just hurry up and get to the end. And by like the middle of the second act, I'm like, I ain't gonna lie, y'all. I don't know.
I mean, put it like this: they set Ben Affleck up to look like the dirty cop. Like, when you first see his character, he's being interrogated or questioned by the
Hmm.
FBI. Like,
Hmm.
they're all being questioned by the FBI, but when it gets to him, he's fucking in the office smoking a cigarette. Which,
Yeah, they like first scene set him up like, look, y'all, look at how
yeah,
dirty he looks for
you know, he
sure.
got the shoulder holsters on with the
Hmm.
guns in it, like Mike Laurie and
Yep.
First Bad Boys. But again, the first thing he's doing, he's smoking in a office where you're not supposed to be smoking. It's a
Hmm.
government building.
Then he attacks
And
the Fed. Don't forget that part.
yeah, he does, but that one makes a little more sense. But
Says,
and
yeah.
that's where it gets also, that part's kind of goofy as well.
They
'Cause it's
give you
like
context though. It
yeah,
makes
it's
sense.
that part's goofy, and they wouldn't do that,
Yeah.
unless there's like unless they knew he was dirty. It's like, okay, this
Mhm.
the person we need you to do this, so to
Mhm.
help him out.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're not doing that. But
Yeah, facts.
that and then they talk about the VICAP. It was like violent criminal apprehension team is what it was
I was about
like
to
that.
say, props to you
Um,
because I did not remember what that acronym stood for.
and that was I guess they bring it up and they're like, "Oh, you had some friends over there," or some shit like that, but they don't really specify if he was ever a part of them. They just say that they broke that team up, they arrested
Mhm.
them,
Yep.
because they think that the VICAT team would have caught the captain's killer. I mean,
Yeah. Yeah.
even the fact that they're back in there questioning them didn't make sense. There was like I said, it's a lot of parts that they give you some hints, but it's some parts in here where there's no context at all. Like I said,
Yeah.
if you've already questioned us, why are you back here after all this time?
And
Nothing
you still have
serious
no
happened.
suspects.
You don't have
Yeah.
any suspects. Why are you
Yeah.
back here questioning us for
Mhm.
the we don't know how many times. We don't know how much time has passed since the captain's murder. Um, the person that's in charge of everything, the major, you see that nigga once and that's it.
Yeah, he was
So
useless. He was
I'm like,
completely useless.
how involved are you? Like I said, you got a lieutenant, you got a sergeant, lieutenant, captain.
Yep.
Okay, then you got everybody else was detectives, I believe. They only really say that one person is a detective, so I'm guessing he's a new person, but we don't know how long he's been with the team. Like it's just so many things that's just going on.
Mhm.
Then they share in a building with with another federal agency. And they try to give some context to it, but again, it just doesn't make sense. Everybody know that there's a bunch of dirty cops in Miami. Everybody think everybody else dirty. That they play into that. They lean into it really hard. And like I said, they lean into Ben being dirty throughout the whole movie. I mean, he doing shit. I'm like,
Not just Ben though, like, there's other characters that they kinda
yeah,
try to shine the light
it's
on and be like,
others,
"Alright, what about
but
what about"
him more specifically, I'm thinking through the
Yeah.
whole thing until, you know,
Until they get to the house, then they kinda zero in on somebody else.
yeah, they get to the
Yeah.
house and you like, and then it's like, okay, he's clean.
Yeah.
At least in this aspect, he's clean.
Yeah.
So they throw some curveballs in there. Like I said, I wasn't expecting that person, to be honest.
Bro, when I tell you, I was watching this shit and I just knew like, all right, boom. Like when it got to that scene that we're talking about, I was like, boom, this is a wrap. They about to outdog as the the corrupt cop. We about to get the ball rolling. Cool. And then they started pointing out certain details, and I'm like,
I was like,
nah.
yeah. I'm like,
I
oh,
was like,
okay,
nah,
shit.
ain't no way. And then hold on, they started pointing out more details. Like, yeah, so like, why hasn't such and such showed up yet? Why ain't you called such and such yet? And then you start to see the other people they pointing at, and it that was the first time in a while where I like felt pure shock at a twist
Yeah.
in a movie before. Like, I was like, I can't lie, I didn't see that one coming at all. It's been a while since I've experienced that, and for that to come from a Netflix movie, I very unexpected. I got to give him props for that one. I got to give credit where credit's due because I did
You
not see
ain't
that
watch
coming.
you ain't watch the what was it, the last one? No Dead Man Live Here, the Knives Out?
The most recent one, I have not.
Yeah.
I have not. But
Shit's
okay, I'll give
good.
Knives Out credit. Knives Out,
Shit's
yes.
good.
Yeah, not the Knives Out series is really good. I do need to watch that last one.
I think this is the first one that they put in theaters first. It was in theaters for, like, maybe 3 weeks before it released on
Yeah.
Netflix.
The original one was in theaters. The first one was released in
Was it?
theaters. Yeah, the second one was a Netflix release. But the
You
the
sure?
original Knives Out, yeah, the original Knives Out came out in theaters.
I don't remember that.
I don't think I'm tripping on that one. I'm pretty sure the
I
original
think you
Knives Out.
tripping.
You think I'm tripping? Let's see if I'm tripping, y'all. Let's see between the junkies who got more real knowledge. Let's see who got it. I'm pretty sure it came out in theaters. It's like, what was that, 2017, 2018, or
Yeah, it had
2019?
it would've been 19, 18 or 19.
18 or 19? I know it's in that time frame, that like 3
You're
years
right.
span. It did come out in theaters? Okay.
It's
And then
2019, released in theaters,
okay.
November 27th.
Okay, yeah, and I remember the second one was a Netflix release. I do remember that, but I remember being surprised. Only reason I remember that because I remember being surprised that the second one was a Netflix release
Yeah.
because the first one was released in theaters. I was surprised they decided to go that route.
That's crazy because I do not remember I'm pretty sure I watched that first one on Netflix too.
Yeah, I watched it after I
I
didn't
don't
watch it
rem
in theaters
I
either.
don't
I watched
remember
it.
it being
Yeah,
released in theaters. That's why I was confused
yeah.
about it.
'Cause I think I remember it being like the trailers and it coming out. But anyway, we didn't went down a Knives Out. We just went down the craziest Knives Out rabbit hole. But if y'all haven't seen the Knives Out movies, definitely go do that. As just a side recommendation. Phenomenal. I need to see the third one too.
And that third, like I said, the third one. So like I said, like just no, you don't always expect the twist, but like I said, on Netflix shows or I'm gonna say any streaming service that put movies out,
Mhm.
most of the time you know who the main bad guy is, you know who did what. It's not gonna be often that you have you're shocked or surprised. In
Yeah.
this one,
Genuine
it
shock.
it's I ain't gonna say it's a little shocking for me, but also
Mhm.
like everybody is a suspect. So I'm like,
Yeah, that is also true. So it's like at the end of the day, this movie does set it up to where like you really can't trust any of these characters
yeah,
based on the information given to you. 'Cause this movie also does a good job of giving you like halfway context of things, so that you don't have a complete picture into these different characters yet. So really, you're right. Everybody is a suspect. Nobody so far in this movie up to a certain point is somebody where you go like, yeah, they're 100% trustworthy. There's no way they're dirty. You don't really get that with any of these characters outside of like maybe certain points. Like there's points where you start to rule people out. Like,
yeah.
all right, okay, I don't think it's you anymore. But at one point I did. You know what I'm saying? Or I don't think it's you anymore. But like at some point in the movie, you're suspecting everybody. There's no point in the movie where the lens isn't shined on somebody as they could potentially be dirty or they could potentially be corrupt. But I also do want to give a shout out to the director of this. Joe Carnahan, I believe I said his name right. Also directed the A Team in 20 that came out in 2010. If y'all ever saw that
Oh
movie,
shit.
yep,
I'm still
pretty solid
I'm still
adaptation
wai
actually.
I'm still waiting on the second one.
after,
Obviously
after
obviously
16 years, gang, it might be sweet.
obviously it's not gonna be the same characters because Liam Neeson's old as shit. I do not want to see him play Hannibal. I
You want to
don't
see
want to
Quentin
see
Rampage Jackson on screen again?
no, not in that role. Because again, I feel like those characters should be younger. So I
Yeah,
don't want to see Bradley Cooper's face. I want to see a
mm,
young because he Bradley Cooper's old.
yeah,
Like he doesn't come off as like a young attractive guy. He's just niggas old now.
yeah,
And I don't always say like the nigga's old because nigga like 50, I think. I don't know. He's
yeah.
not
I'm pretty
old,
sure
but
Bradley Cooper's in his 50s, if
he's
I'm not
older
tripping.
than
What that
what he
character
should
should be.
what that
Yeah,
character should be. All of them
yeah,
are.
yeah.
So
Facts.
I would but I love that movie. I would love to see another one because it was leaning towards another movie.
I was fully expecting us to get a sequel to that, and we never did. But I really rock with that 2010 18 movie.
Yeah.
Very doesn't get talked about enough. Solid action film for real. And then to me, in my opinion, some of his best work, he directed The Gray in 2011. Um,
Right, what's that?
The Gray. It was also with Liam
Oh, with
Neeson.
Liam Neeson and the Wolves and shit.
And when he
Never
was
seen
on
it.
that plane and they crashed and he gets stuck out, basically
I know the
this
premise. I've just never seen
yeah,
it.
it's phenomenal movie, phenomenal. I had a good time watching The Gray. So to me, that's some of his best work. I think you can put The Rip up there as well as some of his best work. I think he's shown that he's very capable of doing action well, and he's able of doing like intense situations well. Because I think that's pretty much all The Gray is. It's just a bunch of intense situations stacked on top of each other, sprinkled with a little bit of action. And that's also, I feel like, the majority of what The Rip is. A lot of intense situations, very tense interactions between police officers, very dramatic interactions between officers who are friends, people not trusting each other. Um, we didn't even mention the poor woman who actually lives in this house that they've raided and are now trying to debate on what they do with this $20 million. I'm not familiar with the actress,
I'm not
Sasha
either. I seen that they said she was on the Flash, the TV show.
it's Sasha
Um,
Cali, I think is her name.
Kelly.
Oh, I know where I recognized her from. She plays Supergirl in The Flash, the movie The Flash.
So she was the movie Flash, not the TV
Yes,
show. Okay.
because when I first saw her on screen, like when her character first shows up, I was like, I know I've seen her in something, but I can't think of what it is. Yeah, she played Supergirl in the Flash movie. So
I
that
will
that
say one thing that definitely pissed me off about this movie was something that I think we talked about before. There was a turning. I mean, just stop talking to fucking police. Like,
Bro,
so
she made a lot of bad
we,
the person who lives in this house that the police that they showed up to made a lot of bad decisions. For one, they showed up to your house without a real warrant.
we've had this discussion before. Why does this happen? Because
Yeah.
the script says it happens.
Because the script says so.
This has to happen for the script to progress.
The way you should have told them to do an about face and leave your property, like how they made it into your home and the way that you're consented for them to come into your home is so crazy to me.
But you heard what he said when they was walking up to the house.
Yeah.
Matt Damon told Ben Affleck, he said, "What's our how are we getting in?"
Yeah.
He said, we don't have no warrant." He said, "We're gonna have to get consent." He said, "Okay, if we can't get consent, then what?" He said, "We will find justification."
They'll find justification. Yeah.
So again, so this right there, that leads me to the first part of like, oh, this nigga dirty.
Yeah.
Because what the fuck you mean we'll find something? Like,
We'll figure out a way to get in there. Yeah.
and he said it in a way of like, no, we just say this happened. Like, it's implied that he was gonna find his way inside that home. But no,
She just said, "Fuck you." Like, come on. Knowing what's in that house, which is the craziest part to me. Like, you know what you have in this house, and you decided, yeah, just come in and search. There's no way they'll find the barrels of $20 million that are sitting upstairs.
I don't lie, the way that the house was set up.
It's fair. I wouldn't have thought they would find that shit either.
I would have thought they would have found it because, like, the same thing he said. So if you look into this lady's house, it's her grandmother's house that she's taking over for. It's old newspapers, phone books. If you were born after like 2000, you probably don't know what a phone book is. A phone book is a book that got in the area. It got everybody's fucking name on there. It got their house number on there, and you pick it up, find a name, all that. It's gonna ring them. Also got businesses and all types of shit in there. But all these old phone books in the house, and then they go to the attic, and there's nothing in the attic.
They looked at the attic. They was like, why does the rest of this house look like shit and this is spotless?
Wait, that's the first thing he said. Why is this attic so clean? And she goes, what do you mean? He said, the rest of this looks like a landfill.
Like the rest of your house looks like a landfill, and this attic is fucking spotless.
And literally, it was freshly painted.
Yeah.
It had a candle in a little altar place.
Yeah.
And that's all that we see.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's very concerning because what do you mean?
Yeah, it's out of place. It looks out of place.
And then before they get there, they have this little dog, this money smelling dog, which is wild to me.
Which is crazy. A money smelling dog? Aren't y'all on narcotics team?
Because money can smell like a lot of things. Okay, like, so I don't know how they trained the dog to smell money.
Money specifically. That's crazy.
So the dog starts going off, and she's like, "All right, I want y'all to leave now." And they're like,
"We here now? No, we got cause.
We got a hit now. We can search."
Right. We got just cause now. We got a money dog. We got a spotless attic, and he's barking his ass off. So we got cause now.
I'm like 90% sure that still would have constituted an illegal search because she took consent away at that point. It doesn't matter that your dog got a hit because it's not my car. Like, if it's my car, cool. I could be wrong though, but I'm pretty sure when you in your house, nah, nigga, y'all ain't see it, get the fuck out. Because it could be any type of money in there.
Yeah, that is true. At this point, they know what it is for real.
And they make it clear that they go after money, and they tell her, they say, we're not looking for drugs, we're searching, we look for money. Which I'm still confused about that because to take people's team. Like, it's in y'all name.
Like,
how are y'all not looking?
Sense.
I feel like that was I feel like that was just bad writing. That they should not have added that at all for them to say that. It just should have been a part of it because also, most places call that a seizure.
Yeah,
they're calling it a rip, which is the name of the movie, The Rip. They're calling it a rip, which again, last time we seen the TNT team when they were talking about a rip, it's because somebody was being robbed.
Yeah.
So it makes you want to believe that this entire team is dirty just by the terminology that they're using. Because a rip, it's like, we're stealing from you. Yeah, there are seizures. I forget what asset forfeiture seizures that many consider. I consider that stealing, but the government does not consider that stealing.
Yeah,
they consider that a function that they can do. And so why would you use that terminology for it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and like really when you start to look at the way the whole vibe shift, especially in I'm trying to Desi, that was the character's name, the woman who lived in the house. The vibe shift on her face when Ben Affleck was like, "Yeah, we're not looking for drugs, we're looking for money." She's like, "Y'all looking for what?" And I feel like part of the reason she felt so confident to let them search the house is because she assumed they were looking for drugs and she knew that there were none in the house. She's like, they in here looking for drugs. They're not going to find nothing in here, but not knowing drugs ain't what they're there for.
this is
Th
my thing though. I don't care what I have in there. At this point, you're not searching because if you're looking for something, you're gonna find something.
Yeah,
If you're gonna find what's there. It doesn't
yeah.
matter if you're looking for the wrong thing. A
Oh, I'm not
lot of
saying she was right to let them in. I'm just telling you,
uh,
don't hear what I'm not saying. She's still a stupid decision.
and I say that because a lot of niggas have went to prison
Yeah,
for saying, "Oh, I don't have this, this, and this," and
but
then
you got
cops
something else
find
in
this,
there.
this, and this. Nigga,
Yeah,
you going to jail.
yeah,
And I don't know how you're not coming off as innocent. I don't,
yeah.
I don't care. You're going to prison too, man. Well, in this, they're just stealing money.
Mhm.
Even if the government's stealing it, they're stealing money. You're not gonna go to prison, but you're not getting this money back either.
Yeah, facts.
So now I want to focus on some of these characters.
Okay.
The only people that really have a story in this is um Matt, Ben, Steven, and Desi.
Fair. The
Outside
characters
of
that are
that,
important, yeah.
yeah. So we know Tiana Taylor's in this movie. She has a few lines. It was a waste of a Tiana Taylor.
I agree.
To be honest with you. The other actor, I don't even remember her. Oh, shout out to our Black Queen, Tiana Taylor.
Yeah, she's the only one, so
Gorgeous. Did you
shout
see
out to
that?
Tiana Taylor.
That woman got a bubble on her.
This
Jesus
nigga
Christ.
here, boy. No, but shout out to Tiana
Did
though,
you
for
not
real.
see her?
No, I watched the movie. I saw it.
I was, I'm
I
like,
watched the
okay, they
movie.
ain't
I
had to
saw
do
it.
that. But yeah, they don't have they don't have stories.
Yeah,
They
they're
try
not
and have a conversation that I think anybody that's never seen that much money
would
would have.
have. Yes.
I don't care if you're going to do it or not. You're going to have that conversation. I don't
Yeah.
care who you are. Hey, shit, man, you know what? This First of all,
This
this is
portion, we're looking
20,000,000.
at $20 million.
You
Even
know what
a
this little
fraction
bit
of
of that to
this
do?
is
You
life changing. Is life changing.
you
So
know,
like that's a fair conversation to
So
have.
they had that little conversation back and forth, and you're like, "Cool, okay." You expecting more. They throw little things in there so they can be included, but
Yeah.
it's not enough to be like, "All right, you were you really helped this story a lot." You did.
Yeah.
They didn't.
They
Like
didn't.
I don't even want to call them supporting characters in this. It just they
They're
really.
they're like
I would
background supporting characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
background. Like I would throw Desi as a supporting character, and I would
More
throw
so, yes. I agree.
Kyle Chandler as a supporting character.
Yes.
But Teyana Taylor and the other young lady, which
I'm not even gonna attempt to pronounce this actress' name. I'm gonna just say the character's name is Detective
Numi.
Lolo.
Oh, so Teyana Taylor's Numi.
Yeah, Tiana
Catalina
Taylor.
Catalina Sandino Moreno.
Yes, shout out to
Jesus.
her.
I'm guessing she's Spanish.
Fair assumption.
Can't see from her biography. I'd have to probably check her LinkedIn. But yeah, so everybody else really doesn't get any shine. Like I said,
Yeah.
you see them, you see conversations that they're having in the background, but it's not real. It's not really.
Yeah.
While
It doesn't
they're
really lead anywhere.
No. And let's be honest. There are so many things that are happening to why you think people are dirty. And one of them is the fact that they all took their personal cars to this fucking house.
They for
They talking
sure
about some
did take their personal vehicles.
no, yeah, no
Not
overtime.
nan person took a squad car.
Let's be in these little task force like that, they're getting overtime. I don't care
Yeah.
what's going on. They are getting overtime. And if they're not getting overtime, you know what they're gonna do? They gonna work that whatever shift, and
Mhm.
then they gonna work whatever hours they need to work for this, and then they gonna fucking move it. So I'm not coming in to work today because I worked 8 hours past that.
Mhm.
But they are getting overtime. And at one point, like I said, they found $20 million sitting in this house. There's no department, federal or local, where they're finding $20 million and there's not an immediate press conference. I don't care.
Immediate.
We find out at the end of the movie why more people didn't show up, but I feel like with that much money, plan goes out the window. Like
Yeah.
you have to follow protocol. You're not $20 million. Then the FBI would have been there, DA would have been there, ATF would have been there.
They
The
would call in everybody.
whole higher ups of the Miami-Dade Police Department would have been there. There's no way in hell y'all going through whatever time it is to whatever time it is, and y'all just chilling.
Yeah, the events of this movie were very dramatized based on the situation they were in. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm with you. It's no way in hell this
It sh-
plays out like this
it
with
should
$20
have
million.
been a way lower number.
Yeah.
Even
For
if it
the,
was like 3, 4 million, 5
yeah.
million, I would be like,
For the
okay,
events of this movie to feel more realistic, 20 million was crazy.
Yeah,
20 million
because
was definitely nuts.
again, all they make a point that they only go after money, so they see large sums of money often, but 20 million, they like, "Oh, shit, no,
Even they
I don't."
started panicking when they saw that.
Yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
"Yo, what the fuck is
They was
this?"
like, they pulled out one barrel. They's like, damn, it's a lot of money in here. And they looked, I was like, damn, it's a shit ton of those. Hold on. And then they started putting it together. Like the minute they realized how much money was in this house, you saw the panic in their face. They started collecting phones.
I
They
did
started
think
having
the
little mini side conferences to themselves, trying to figure out what to
I
do.
did think the coldest part though was, like I said, after they find the money and they
Mhm.
there, and, I think, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon were talking to her, just getting like, "Hey, how does this work?" You know, she like, "I get a call, they tell me to leave my house, I leave. I leave home for a few hours. Then she comes home." She's like, "I don't ask no questions." And she's like, I forgot how she said it, but she was like, they said, "Take what you want and be gone." And he's like,
Yeah.
"What?" Because at first she's playing dumb, like she
Yeah.
doesn't know that the money is there. She don't have nothing
Yeah.
to do with it, this, and
Yeah.
that. And then she says that. And they like, "What?" She's like, "Is
That's what
that
they
what they
told me
told
to
you to
tell
say?"
y'all.
And
Yeah.
she's like, "Yeah, that's take, take what you gonna take and then leave." Which is like so we know that there's a history of dirty cops in here.
Mhm.
Um, Again, they tell us that there's a heist crew as well, moving around in this Miami area. Once we find out who the see, we probably should have waited to this because I want spoilers on this shit because once we find out who the heist crew is, I have even more questions about how they're able to get away with the shit that they're getting away with.
Yeah, I need to rewatch this now that I understand and know the ending and try to view it from that perspective because there's definitely I had some additional questions about at least one of the people we found out were dirty. I was like, how?
My thing is
Literally how?
how all these people are interconnected, the heist crew.
Mhm.
Why would you take this person to do X, Y, and Z with you? Like, that was weird.
Wasn't making sense.
And then, I mean, I already told y'all there was a tank involved. Uh, that's not something that you just driving around with and motherfuckers don't know where it's at.
Yeah.
The police have all they cars GPS. They gonna know where your car at. The federal government definitely has their cars GPS. They're gonna know where their their uh their vehicles are located. And if you turn a fucking tracker on your car off, nigga, they gonna be like, "Yo, what are you doing?"
Where you going?
You
Facts.
you like, "Oh, I don't know. I hit a pothole. It must have came loose." Nigga, that's not how it works.
Yeah, no,
So
there's
I
a lot
got
of plot holes here.
I got more questions. I didn't like I said, I didn't hate the reveal. It was very shocking. I'm not gonna say very shocking. It was shocking because
For
again,
me, it
we
was very
suspect
shocking.
everybody.
Yeah.
It's just this movie really left me wanting more, especially with that action scene, the last action scene. If they would
Mhm.
have left it at the first scene, I would have been like, "All right, cool. I expect this to happen. This." But then the last part, it was very, let's just say, it was very underwhelming
Yeah.
and over the top at the same time.
Yes. Yes.
Um, Ben
Absolutely.
Affleck after that action scene should be in prison,
All right
because there
now.
are a lot of loose bullets flying around. And at one point in the movie, somebody goes, "Where are the cars? Where are all the people?" And then he goes, "You heard about the cartels buying up blocks, so they can that's where we're gonna
Mhm.
hide our shit at on a block.
Mhm.
It looks like a normal place." Which that's smart, but I think niggas gonna catch on to that quick. You can't buy up the
Yeah.
whole block and nobody lives there.
You're like, not a soul?
So, but but this is what I'm thinking during the last action scene. Where are the people? Where are all the cars? Like, I ain't see it. I don't think we see
Civilians.
at all.
At
I think
all.
so. This
There's
is
no
one of
such thing
those.
as a civilian in this movie.
This is one of those like you see a lot of movies that are like what do we watch? The Blackening, where
Yeah.
the cast is the main characters. That's all you see
Mhm.
outside of like I think the guy at the liquor store that we seen, and then nope, the twins were involved. So
Yeah.
the guys at the liquor store, everybody else is really involved. The guy at the liquor store, and then the ranger.
Mhm.
Just like this movie, you don't see anybody that's really not involved. You
Yeah.
see the few background characters while they're at the police station, and then you see some no-name FBI and DEA agents.
Pretty much.
And outside of that, it's not niggas just walking by because they literally go from being questioned at the police station to being on their little secret compound that they have, which is again weird because it's only like 5 of them. I don't know why they have that much space.
It was a lot. It was
For
a lot
5
for sure.
for 5, 6 people to have that much space does not make sense at all. And then they go directly to the house. And I think the way that it played out, like you said, they really they really worked on it. I think they really worked on it. I wonder how they wrote this.
Yeah.
If they wrote the ending and then, came up with it, how they worked it out because what he did was smart, and I'm trying to figure out if I've seen it anywhere else before. I feel
I
like I
can't.
have, but
Yeah.
I can't name it.
Yeah. I'll I'll say just like concluding thoughts and I'll give my rating immediately after. I I think overall this film hit on what I needed it to hit, right? Like you set this up as this kind of thriller crime drama about Miami police officers in a very high stress tense situation where they don't know who to trust. And on top of they don't know who to trust, the situation they're in, they start to figure out ties back to why their captain was murdered in the first
Mhm.
place, right? So then there's that aspect of it as well. So there's a lot of things going on in this situation that where the tension and the drama to me are the strongest parts of this. And I would have liked to see the film lean into that a little bit more throughout the movie. Yeah, I feel like through the first act and the second act, that was what this movie was about. It was just tension, drama, mistrust amongst these officers. Who can you trust? And just a lot of high pressure situations. And then at the third act, it kind of just goes, all right, now it's time to be an action movie. And I feel like the movie kind of lost a lot of
They
what,
went, "Let's finish this."
yeah, they literally said, you know what? That shit was cool. Now it's time to shoot some people. And that's basically just the complete shift this movie goes into. And there was one action scene in here that I actually really liked, and I imagine the one in the garage,
Okay.
like, yeah, like, that one I actually fucked with, and I was like, "Okay, if that's the type of action we're gonna get in here, I can work with that," and then it gets, like you said, a little more over the top towards the end, but I think overall, the vast majority of this movie and what it was trying to do, it accomplishes very well. Matt Damon and Ben Affleck obviously bring their, A game as far as performances and their scenes together, so I really enjoyed that. And then even some of the other characters, Steven Yeun, Kyle Chandler, I thought did a good job. Sasha Callie, I believe is her name, that plays Desi, also did well. And even though Tiana Taylor and Catalina, I'm just gonna say that. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna attempt the full name. Even though they had background roles, I thought what they brought to the film was actually it wasn't completely irrelevant. Like I don't think that they
Yeah.
were just throwaway characters. They just weren't as impactful as the other characters who had, a little bit more stake in the story. So it really felt like there were no wasted moments or characters in this movie and everything served a purpose. So I actually really enjoyed this. I'm gonna give this one a polite applause.
I am gonna, disagree with you on some points.
Okay.
The wasted Tiana Taylor was a very wasted character. Also, her character was just obviously, it's Tiana Taylor, so I like her, but her
Yeah,
character
that
was
might have been the reason I'm giving it a pass, I'm not gonna lie. Keep it a being with you.
they asked her how she feels about the captain, she's like, "That was my girl. That was my bitch." I'm like, "Yo, what?"
To the feds.
Nigga,
You're like,
what?
"Yeah,
Like,
you are being
just
pressed by the FBI right now."
she was just being it was just her character was just very I wanna know who wrote her character. It was definitely a white man.
Yeah,
It
I'm
was
about to say,
definitely it was definitely a white man that wrote her character. It's probably a white
what do y'all
gay
think
man.
black women act like?
It was a
Like, that's
white
dead
gay
ass.
man that wrote her character
Yes,
because that I'm like, "Yo, what?"
it was her character definitely came across as, "Hey, guys, what do y'all think black women act like?
Yeah.
And let's just start writing." Her character did come across that way at certain points, especially towards the beginning. Towards the
Yes.
second act, they got a lot better with
It
it, but
got
towards the
better.
beginning, I was like, "What are we doing, y'all?"
Yeah. But yeah, no, again, fucking I don't think we give Ben Affleck or Matt Damon the credit that they deserve. Um, I know for a fact that I didn't give Ben Affleck the credit that he deserved up until I think I seen A Town,
The
and then
Town,
I
yes.
started watching more Ben
Argo,
Affleck movies. I'm like, "Yo, this shit's good." What
yeah.
what I just Ben Affleck was never an actor that I liked, so I never watched his movies. So all I
Okay.
knew from Ben Affleck was what the reviewers were saying, and I think this
Yeah.
was around the time, that movie with J-Lo, what was it, Jiggly
Oh,
or
Jilly or
Gi
Giggly, whatever the fuck that movie was called.
and I've never seen it, I heard terrible things about it, and that was my impression of Ben Affleck. Seeing the time, I started watching all his shit again or some of his shit, I'm like, "Yo, this nigga's good, what are y'all talking
He's
about?"
fire.
On top of the niggas directing shit and writing shit,
Mhm.
Matt Damon's been my favorite since fucking,
Speaking of, if you wanna see great Ben Affleck directing, not to interrupt, but go watch Argo,
I knew he was
and I
about to say
believe he
Argo.
directed Gone Baby Gone as well, if I'm not mistaken. I think he directed Gone Baby Gone. He
That was a
did
good
direct
movie
Gone
though.
Baby Gone, yep, he did. He did direct that, yes,
Mhm.
and no, David Fincher directed Gone Girl, but yeah, Ben Affleck, Gone Baby Gone, and Argo. If you haven't seen those movies, go check those out.
No, I seen Gone Girl, not Gone Baby Girl.
Yeah, he stars in Gone Girl. That's why I was getting confused at first. I was like, I know one he starred in and one he
Okay.
directed, and I couldn't remember which one was which.
Damon in Born Identity. A
Yeah.
young Matt Damon. Um, the Matt Damon is a reference from Team America. I don't know if y'all
Yeah.
seen that shit. The guys from South Park made that. But their acting in this was Matt Damon, bro, really give
He had the
he
best performance to
Yeah,
me, I ain't gonna
he
lie.
had a great performance. He had a great performance. You don't usually see that side of him in most movies where Matt Damon's in it. He's 100% the good guy. You don't have any reservations about who Matt
Mhm.
Damon is. I've never seen him as the bad guy. There might maybe movies, but I haven't seen him as the
I
bad
can't think of one right
guy.
now.
Ooh, I lied.
I haven't seen Dogma.
Dogma stars Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, and they are fallen angels. They were
Mm,
exiled from heaven, and they are trying to get back into heaven. Now, the reason that they're not supposed to try and get back into heaven is because God's word is law. He
mhm,
exiled them, or God exiled them from heaven. So if they get back into heaven, that means that God's word is not law, and that
mhm,
means that the whole upside world's gonna turn upside down, some type of shit. It's a good movie. It's an older movie. I think it came out in late 90s, early
hmm,
2000s. Ben Affleck, Matt Damon, um, Chris Rock, Jay and Silent Bob, Salma Hayek. Can't remember the other young lady who's really a star of the movie. Can't remember her name, but she is like she's a descendant of Jesus Christ. And
okay.
it's funny because she's like, "What?" She's like, "Jesus was the only child." And they go, "You think Mary," and they say, "No, Jesus was the one born from, Immaculate Conception. Do you think Mary and Joseph were married all those years and they wasn't fucking?"
It
So so
I
she's
gotta
like
check this out. I gotta
she's
check this
like
out.
the great, 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 however many greats
Yeah.
grandniece of Jesus
Okay.
Christ, which is funny.
I gotta check this out. I gotta check this out.
But, no, Steven Yeun was good. Last thing I seen him in was I think that was a Netflix show, Beef.
Mm,
Um,
underrated.
he's a very good actor he's an underrated actor, but he's been in some shit, which is crazy.
Yeah. He's been pretty consistently been in the
Yeah.
scene for a little while now over the past couple years.
I think, all around I like the movie. There were some things that were tough to get over, like I said, FBI DA thing, their involvement in this was kinda weird. How it played its part was kinda weird to me. That
Mhm,
end scene, like I said, that shit was to me, it was terrible. It was very underwhelming and over the top at the same time, which is very hard to do, you
mhm.
know? Usually when something's overwhelming, it's not over the top at all.
Yeah, facts.
I think it just like you said before, I think it wanted to be an action movie, and it just was no action in the movie, really, until that scene, and it just it didn't know what it wanted to be.
Mhm,
It should have stayed as a thriller. Little action scene here and there is cool, but they OD'd with it. On top
yeah.
of Scott Adkins, how do you say it? Scott Atkins?
Scott Atkins. I'm trying to think of you talking about now. Oh,
Scott
the greatest
Atkins.
brother, Scott Atkins, yes.
So, if you don't know who Scott Atkins is, he came up as a, stunt double, and then he became an actor, and he makes a lot of those movies that were, like, in bargain bin type shit. Shit that
Yeah.
you would see on, Amazon and back in the day,
Mhm.
on Tubi now, shit that you see Michael Jai White. And those are the
Yes.
types of movies that Scott Adkins does. So, he's been in some shit in, like, some blockbuster movies, but not really. He never has a big role. Like, he was in,
Mhm.
I think he was in Expendables 2 or 3. He was in one of them.
Ooh, I don't remember him if he was in either of those.
Mhm. He might have been in all 3. I know he was in I know he wasn't in 1, it was 2 or 3 though, because,
Okay.
again, The Expendables was a action movie.
Mhm.
I'm also going to give it a polite applause. There's a couple things that could have been better in the movie that would have made it great, but all in all, it was a good watch to me.
Yeah, not bad at all. Definitely highly recommend if you all are chilling. It's supposed to be a polar vortex this weekend. So for those of y'all smart enough to sit y'all ass down somewhere, turn on Netflix and definitely watch The Rip if you haven't already. A great time for sure. And definitely a good movie to kick off 2026 with because we know it's January. The theaters ain't giving us much right now,
Yeah.
y'all. So that is our review of The Rip. If you've seen it, let us know your thoughts. I don't know how many more Matt Damon, Ben Affleck collaborations we're getting, so always good to take advantage of those while they're still happening. Always continue to like, comment, subscribe. We do appreciate all the support. And until next time, this is the Real Junkies. Peace.